From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, August 3rd. It's going to be partly cloudy this morning with some patchy fog. Can't rule out a stray shower this afternoon. However, it's mostly going to stay dry all across the state. It's going to be a hotter day with highs in the upper 80s to low 90s and more humid. It's going to feel a heat index in the 90s when you factor in that humidity. As for your Saturday, pretty similar. Sunday could have some storms, so just make sure you have that Storm Track 8 weather app handy. It is free to download. Indianapolis police say a man is under arrest after barricading himself in a house and shooting at officers. We were following this as breaking news this morning on Daybreak on Wish TV. It happened about 2:30 this morning on Downs Drive near 38th and Mithofer on the Far East Side. Police say they initially received a call because the man was firing shots at children and adults in the home. IMPD and SWAT officers arrived, found the suspect barricaded inside with a woman. Police say the others told officers that they had gotten out of the house. According to IMPD, the suspect then fired several shots at officers. The department says no one was hit and no officers fired back. Former President Donald Trump has pleaded not guilty to federal charges in what is now the third criminal case against him. Trump appeared in court in front of a magistrate judge in Washington, D.C. yesterday. Courtroom sketches show that the moment he stood to enter his plea, the Justice Department's indictment of Trump includes 4 felony counts claiming he conspired to overturn the results of the 2020 vote, then obstructed the investigation. Trump spoke to reporters after his arraignment.
When you look at what's happening, this is a persecution of a political opponent. This was never supposed to happen in America.
Trump could spend time in prison if convicted. The most serious counts call for up to 20 years. His next court date is set for August 28th. IMPD says a man is dead after being shot by police during a chase on the northeast side. It happened on Parker Avenue near 34th and Keystone. Police say an IMPD officer pulled the man over for driving recklessly just before 10 yesterday morning. IMPD says the man pulled a gun and ran off. Police say an officer ran after the suspect and fired his weapon, striking the driver at least once. According to IMPD, the suspect died at the hospital. IMPD says it's unclear if the suspect fired any shots at police. Friends and colleagues of fallen Johnson County Sheriff's Deputy Tim Geyer are remembering the impact he left before joining the force. Geyer died at the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy Tuesday. Investigators say he had suffered some kind of medical issue. Geyer was well known as a local coach in youth sports. He helped coach wrestling and baseball at Indian Creek Middle School and high school. It's where his children play sports. The high school's head football coach recalls Geyer's volunteer spirit.
And any time that we'd ever have talked about, hiring Tim Geyer, it was don't even stick your hand out to pay me anything. It was I'm here to volunteer and I'm going to work my butt off.
The Hendricks County coroner says a cause of death may not be available for 2 months. Funeral plans for Geyer are not yet set. From I-Team 8, the first step is in place for Kagan Klein if he decides to appeal his sentence. Klein is the Northern Indiana man convicted on more than 24 charges connected to child pornography and a phony social media account that is also linked to the Delphi double murder. A judge last month sentenced him to 40 years. This week, the same judge appointed an attorney for Klein's possible appeal. So far, neither Klein nor the attorney have filed notice of an appeal. Also from I-Team 8, the Delaware County prosecutor says he's investigating the host of a party that was the site of a mass shooting in Muncie. The prosecutor says the person could face charges. Court documents say a fight between Joseph Bonner and John Vance Jr. led to the gunfire that killed Bonner. Muncie police say they did everything they could to shut down the party before the shooting.
We did make an initial phone call. We asked that party be shut down. It was not shut down. And then we tried to call several other times, and he refused to take our call.
The host of the party tells I-Team 8 he's not commenting at this time. The timeline of if or when he'll face charges is unclear. Indianapolis-based Lilly faces a new lawsuit over its diabetes medication. The lawsuit was filed by a Louisiana woman Wednesday. It accuses Lilly and Novo Nordisk of failing to warn people about the risk of gastrointestinal issues. Lilly's Mounjaro and Novo Nordisk's Ozempic were both approved for type 2 diabetes, but have been used off-label for weight loss. Attorneys for the plaintiff say she was prescribed Ozempic for more than a year before being prescribed Mounjaro. According to the lawsuit, the woman suffered from severe vomiting, stomach pain, and other gastrointestinal problems. The lawsuit is seeking damages, but doesn't specify a dollar amount. And Wish TV is Indiana's education station. This is the first year for new statewide changes eliminating textbook and digital device fees at schools. News 8's government reporter Garrett Bergquist spoke to leaders at local districts about why the change raises concerns.
State lawmakers this spring set aside funding specifically for textbooks and other curricular materials, but it's up to individual school corporations to make up the balance. This is what textbook often means these days. A laptop or a tablet of some kind, like Wayne Township provides its students. Those cost money, often $500 or more apiece.
There was very little time for school districts to plan for this shift in curricular fees, so there hasn't been a whole lot of financial discussions other than trying to figure out how to shift dollars from what we had earlier planned to spend.
State lawmakers set aside $160 million in each year of the 2-year budget to cover textbooks and digital devices. Butts says that works out to about $150 per student on average. He says that's enough for elementary school students, but not enough to cover more specialized high school courses.
There will have to be decisions made at the local level for those dollars that may have otherwise been spent on classrooms, on teacher salaries, and now will be diverted to covering those curricular fees that parents are no longer required to pay.
The Indiana School Boards Association says districts all over the state report this could set them back anywhere from a few tens of thousands of dollars to more than $1 million in Wayne Township's case. School corporations won't have final numbers on any budget shortfalls until October.
Whether they need to restrict or reduce the variety and diversity of programs provided to students. It may cause a reduction in force, which could drive up class size ratios. So a lot of unknowns still today.
Butts says his district won't have to cut any programs for now. Officials might have to if future state budgets don't fully fund curricular materials. News 8 contacted top budget writers in both the House and Senate to find out about future funding plans, but did not hear back. The General Assembly is unlikely to address school funding again before the 2025 budget session. At the State House, I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook.
In Greene County, the sheriff's office is asking Indiana State Police to investigate the death of an inmate. According to the state police department, Jack Farmer of Bloomington was found unresponsive at the county jail on July 23rd. Police say he was taken to 2 hospitals before being pronounced dead the following weekend. Police didn't provide any other details on the death or the investigation. A rule restricting asylum at the U.S.-Mexico border will stay in place, at least for now. An appeals court granted the request from the Biden administration to keep it in effect. The rule makes it harder for migrants to claim asylum in the U.S. unless the person has sought protection from other countries they passed through before arriving at the border. The policy started in May as Title 42 expired, as a way to stem a massive influx of migrants. Lawsuits against the policy claim it puts people in danger. A lower court had ruled that it was illegal. 6 police officers in Mississippi have pleaded guilty to federal civil rights charges in what prosecutors call a long racist assault on 2 men. Investigators say the officers entered a house in Jackson without a warrant in January, then beat the men, used stun guns on them, sexually assaulted them, and shot one of them in the mouth in a mock execution. The 6 are no longer on the force. They're set for sentencing in November. Hyundai and Kia are telling nearly 92,000 vehicle owners to park their cars outside and away from many buildings. The companies say an electronic controller in the oil pump can overheat and cause the cars to catch fire. The recall covers certain 23 and 24 Hyundai Palisades, as well as some 23 Tucson, Sonata, Elantra, and Kona vehicles. Affected Kias include the 2023 Soul and Sportage and some 2023 and 24 Seltos vehicles. Hyundai says it will start sending letters to owners on September 25th. Kia says it'll start notifying owners on September 28th. The Union for NBA Players calls a donation from the owners of the Orlando Magic alarming. According to a new filing with federal regulators, the team donated $50,000 to a super PAC that supports the White House run of Ron DeSantis. The National Basketball Players Association says the donation does not represent player support for DeSantis. The Orlando Magic is owned by a family that is prominent in its support of state and federal Republicans. A spokesman for the team says that the check supports DeSantis in his role as governor. He says the check was written before he announced his presidential candidacy. The 3 women suing pop star Lizzo are speaking out about what they feel went wrong while touring with the singer. The suit alleges harassment from Lizzo, her touring company Big Girl Big Touring, and Shirlene Quigley, the captain of the dance team. Ariana Davis is originally from Indianapolis, and she is one of the 3 plaintiffs in the suit. She alleges the women were subject to sexual harassment during a trip to a bar in Amsterdam.
I didn't want to at all. And I said no in many different ways, multiple times. And then she started to chant and started going, Ari, Ari, and everybody kind of joined in. And then, I was embarrassed. And I just wanted it to kind of end. So I briefly touched the performer.
Lizzo is responding to the allegations for the first time. She says in part, "Usually I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous to not be addressed. The sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional." This morning, Swifties across the state are celebrating. Taylor Swift has announced 3 concert dates in Indianapolis. It's part of a tour extension announced on Swift's Instagram yesterday. The pop star added U.S. dates in Miami, New Orleans, and Indianapolis. The record-breaking Eras Tour comes to Lucas Oil Stadium in November of next year. Ticket pre-sales for verified fans start Wednesday. FoodCon is tonight. The Harrison Center created the event in 2010 to celebrate the art and culture of food in Indiana. This year's event promises honeybee education, aquaponic gardening, and cooking on car engines. Organizers say vendors and food trucks will also be there. It's from 6 to 9 tonight at the Harrison Center. And today, a week-long ramp closure begins on the northwest side of Marion County. NDOT says crews will close the I-74 eastbound ramp to 465 northbound at 7 tonight to complete a thin deck overlay. It says work's expected to be complete by Monday morning at 6, weather permitting. Today at the Indiana State Fair, it is Mental Health Matters Day. The state's Mental Health Roundtable is sponsoring it. Purdue will have resources available too at a booth between the administration building and Main Street. Organizers say you can learn how to be involved in the issue in your community. Also, Styx is playing on the Free Stage tonight, starts at 7:30. To business headlines now, the labor market is expected to continue slowing down in July. Wall Street prognosticators expect that non-farm payrolls increase by 200,000 in July, a number that would be the smallest gain since December of 2020. The unemployment is projected to hold steady at 3.6%. A new study from the Texas A&M School of Public Health looked at how workers use their computers to find which days of the week are most and least productive. The least productive time of the week is Friday afternoon, to the surprise of almost no one. And it seems that Monday gets a bad rap, at least from a productivity point of view. Google is making it a lot easier to find and remove your contact information from its search results. The company will now send out notifications when it finds your address, phone number, or email on the web, allowing you to review and request the removal of that information from search. Google previously required you to search for your personal information yourself and then manually request its removal. Threads, Meta's Twitter rival, is struggling to retain users roughly a month after its highly publicized launch. The data from market research firms SimilarWeb and Sensor Tower show Threads' daily active user count is down 82% from the launch as of July 31st. Just 8 million users accessing the app each day. The Addams Family is crowned America's favorite on-screen family, according to a new survey. A poll of 2,000 U.S. adults with streaming subscriptions done by Plex in one poll revealed the nation's spookiest family is followed in popularity by the Simpsons family, the Brady family, and the Bundy family. The study found 82% of people bond with their family and friends over a love of the same TV shows and movies. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and like us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.